Mhm. Ooh, fuck, what a win. Sorry's not a good backup. I thought he'd be a decent backup, but fuck. Oh, that's a massive win. It's LA right there. Oh, well, capital season's done. Fuck, he's 85 overall already. God damn, look at that. Yeah, I thought Carson Carroll's coming up next season too.
Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Nate here. And upon its initial release well over half a decade ago, vanilla Skyrim was already a behemoth of a game. But over the following years, with a variety of DLCs and add-ons, the folks at Bethesda Game Studios continued to make the Elder Scrolls V even bigger. And the first of which was the Dawnguard expansion. Dawnguard thrusted players into a new conflict, not between dragon and man, nor stormfolk and imperial, but instead between mortal and vampire. As an ancient clan of twisted undead known as the Volgar sought to blot out the sun, while a formidable alliance of men calling themselves the Dawnguard stood in their way. Well, much like the game it was released for, Skyrim's Dawnguard DLC is riddled with a plethora of Easter eggs, secrets, and hidden illusions of its own that even all this time later still remain hidden to many a Dragonborn. So today we'll be taking a look at 5 Dawnguard DLC secrets you may have missed in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Starting off, Dawnguard introduced a number of new characters and creatures to the game. Death Hounds, Gargoyles, Vampire Lords, a whole wealth of new enemies or potential allies, depending on who you chose to align with, came to populate Skyrim. But what you may have never noticed is that Bethesda also created a new type of bird for this DLC as well. Once Dawnguard has been installed, the Bonehawk will begin to fly in the skies around Castle Volgar, a unique variant of the normal hawk we commonly encounter in scattered cities and wilderness. Bonehawks will only spawn in near the vampire castle, which seems to be part of the reason why we don't really talk about them. They of course boast their own model and texture, with a special skull-like head and beak, and a much darker set of feathers when compared to their generic counterparts. Notably, when shot down from the sky included, these skeletal birds will carry some otherwise unobtainable loot, including bonehawk feathers, claws, and a bonehawk skull. While first it may seem as though these items don't have much value, they can be used to craft bonehawk amulets and rings at the appropriate crafting station. That said, the rings and necklaces themselves don't really do anything other than look cool, as they have no inherent enchantments nor armor ratings. Though the amulets and rings can be sold for 100 and 75 gold respectively. So that's something, I suppose. But next time you pay a visit to Lord Harkin's home, it's worth looking at the skies and appreciating we get them dead. Next on the list, Dawnguard didn't just establish 2 new joinable factions, but it also created a variety of new locations as well. Arguably the coolest of which is the Soul Cairn. The plane of oblivion where those who are unlucky enough to have gotten soul trapped are doomed to spend all of eternity. As you can probably tell, it's not the most luxurious of places. One of the most cooler and hidden bosses the player can encounter in this gloomy hell is a character called the Reaper, and his existence is a bit of an Easter egg in and of itself, as his existence isn't a part of some quest or series of objectives, but is instead attached to a world interaction that can be triggered should the player perform a complex series of actions, which involves Dragonborn collecting 3
Shit, nice, good. There's birds in the lineup now.
Scattered across the cairn, and bringing all of them to the Reaper's Lair, a small building that can be found in the southeastern edge of the plains. Once the Gem Dragons have been brought to the lair, the Reaper, as well as a small entourage of bone men, will be summoned for you to face off against. The Reaper's appearance is especially terrifying. A gigantic skeleton bearing an execution.
I swear, if we encounter a Florida in the fucking finals again, I'll laugh my ass off if we ever do make it to the finals.
As the Reaper has a base health of 220, but scales with the player's level up to 100, making this quite the opponent. Well, what you may not have known...
Chase Free scores twice. Jared's version scores 2. Let's fucking go.
Known as the Witch in the 2000 PC game Gauntlet Dark Legacy. The Witch was, or I suppose is, also an oversized battle-axe wielding executioner code-bearing skeleton. That in the game was a boss the player would encounter in a similar hell-like region, who's protecting one of 8 gem shards the hero needed to collect. It's also worth noting that one common attack utilized by the Lich, aside from swinging axe at the player, was his ability to vomit maggots at heroes. Likewise, the Reaper and the Soul Cairn will spit a strange group of Dragonborn, which does lingering health damage, which seen nearly 18 years later, Gauntlet's Witch is still giving RPG players quite a hard time. Coda and the Brewery. If the Dragonborn chooses to side with the Volgar vampires over the Dawnguard, Lord Harkin, a vampire in the base game, you would contract a disease called sanguine vampirus, which, if left untreated for a few days, would progress into full-on vampirism, and you yourself would become a bloodsucker. The only way to cure such a condition at this point would be to meet with Morthal's mysterious Red Guard conjurer, Bailey, whom in exchange for a filled black soul gem, could conduct a ritual to turn the player back into a mortal. But what does all this have to do with the Dawn Guard DLC? Well, if after being bitten by Kraken and joining the vampires, you decide to pay Bailey a visit, you can still get cured. If you decide to do this before completing the vampire's questline, the next time you return to Castle Volgar, the local undead will be extremely displeased with your actions.
It's disrespectful and dangerous to walk around here, also. What do you do? Go to Lord Parker at once. Beg him to turn you back. You're dead as you go.
And you will watch the dialogue with Lord Harvey, who will harshly reprimand you for making such a decision, and proceed to just fight you again, turning you back into a vampire lord once more.
You have forsaken my gift. The ancient blood no longer flows through your veins. Don't deny it. Do not offend me by losing it again.
Until you let Lord Harvey do this, the questline will be put on hiatus, forcing you to re-embrace the undead condition. Though after the questline has been completed, you can be cured with no consequences. But until that day comes, mortality will have to wait for Force The DLC's penultimate quest, Touching the Sky, sends you to acquire an ancient artifact called Ariel's Bow in the Forgotten Vale. According to legend, the weapon has a direct connection to the sun, and Lord Kraken believes he can use it to permanently blot out the star. Your objective will be to recover the bow before he can, which you obviously succeeded to. Once the weapon is in your possession, you can have Serena, Armin's daughter, drop the unique type of ammunition called Bloodcurse Element arrows for you to use. When a Bloodcurse arrow is shot at the sun from Ariel's bow, it will indeed result in a temporary eclipse, lasting for the remainder of the in-game game. While this eclipse is active, vampires will suffer from none of the debuffs they typically do when in the presence of the sun. You can see why Harkin wanted something like this so bad. But aside from looking absolutely incredible and being a particular advantage to a Orange-eyed friends, eclipses also make some changes to the world you may not have been previously aware of. During the time the sun is darkened, both Gargoyles and Deathhounds will have a slight chance to spawn in the wild, and the rate at which vampires attack settlements will be dramatically increased. Furthermore, the dialogue of NPCs will be altered to comment on the spooky changing scenery. Take a listen.
Dragon sort this out. Now we've lost the sun, too.
The sun's gone dark. What could be happening now?
Interestingly, NPCs that are secretly vampires, such as Hurt, Moonmill, and Seville Stentor and Solitude's Court, will have unique dialogue of their own. And they, well, they're pretty satisfied.
Tyranny of the sun is over. It's our time now.
Now, before we wrap up, as is becoming quite frequent in these videos, I would like to highlight an honorable mention. On Fort Dawnguard's outlying towers, a number of sleeping pots and hay bales can be found. No doubt, many of fighters have come to get a good night's sleep. Imagine laying on one of these mats and looking into the stars after a long day of vampire hunting and murdering to death. Well, nearby one bedroom, the Dragonborn can find an interesting sight, as there will lie a copy of the book The Lusty Argonian Maid, basically Skyrim's 50 Shades of whatever it is now, and not too far away from that will be a Dawnguard helmet and a pair of gloves lying on its bridge. There's not too much more to add. I'll just leave you to make of this suggested scene whatever you will. And finally, last on the list, Skillwing and Braun are two husky dogs belonging to the Dawnguard that reside in their pen at Fort Dawnguard. If the player chooses to align with the faction, either of these adorable four-legged friends can be recruited as a follower. But those names, Skillwing and Braun, are actually a reference to a pretty popular tale in Irish folklore of a character called Big Mac Cool. Yes, that was his name. Finn MacCool, I know, it's amazing. According to the legend, Finn MacCool was an ancient Irish warrior and the king of a tribe called the Fianna. And he had two hounds named, you guessed it, Skilling and Braun. Now, some variants of the tale suggest that Skilling and Braun were actually the puppies of Finn's sister, or aunt, again depending on who you ask, who was turned into a dog by a wizard. Other spins of the legend even suggest the two were at one point people themselves who were later turned into dogs. Whatever the case, next time you're out and about slaying vampires with these huskies, do keep in mind that they may be no ordinary canines. But on that note, we are going to wrap up. 5 Dome Door DLC secrets you may have missed in The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
This is Slipbox Risk Corona Edition. Seamless digital vacation sacrifice local supports. Essentially, your financial institution is who you are. Sure. Your money should work as hard as you do.
True.
True.
Go.
Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Nate. And Skyrim is a game where doing battle and overpowering your foes is an absolute necessity. Whether it's slaying dragons to make the world a safer place, or butchering innocent townsfolk to do the opposite, you're going to have to engage in quite a bit of combat during your time within the Elder Scrolls V. Thankfully, the RPG offers us a seemingly countless array of swords, daggers, hammers, and staffs to do just that. Each one coming with its own selection of stats, advantages, and disadvantages, giving us cause to try them all. Most of the weapons we encounter in Skyrim belong to certain generic categories, with little distinction. Imperial swords, elven bows, Daedric daggers, you get the idea. The majority of items we come across aren't very special, and most of those that are spoon-fed to us by specific quests as rewards. However, there's a certain handful of tools for destruction across the game that are unique and especially difficult to acquire, that the game doesn't hand to us. Ones that are custom and not so obvious to obtain. So, whether you're looking for more ways to damage your enemies, or just want some collectibles in your inventory, today we'll be exploring 5 more unique and secret weapons you may have missed in The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Starting off, our first weapon can be found within Liar's Retreat, perhaps one of the most unique dungeons in Skyrim. It was once a hidden-away cave/cavern that exclusively catered to bandits and the region's criminal underworld. However, when the Dragonborn arrives, they'll find the location overrun with vulgar and littered with the corpses of its former patrons. As the player progresses throughout the structure, it will eventually become apparent that these former invaders tunneled their way in here from a dwarven ruin and attacked, massacring the clientele who were likely very surprised and probably had quite a bit of meat in their system, taking a few prisoners. If you choose to follow the passages, you'll be led to the caverns these blind-eye invaders came from, where some captured bandits and human sacrifices can be seen. Among the dead will be a special named character, a Breton in chef's attire, named Rod, who lies atop a small altar, seemingly killed in some ritualistic fashion. And next to his body, his equally unique weapon The long hammer can be looted. The long hammer at first comes across as not that special. It boasts the same model, texture, and stats as a normal Orcish warhammer. Well, it boasts all the same stats, except for one: weight. It's 30% lighter than its counterpart. And that seemingly small distinguishing factor makes all of the difference. Because not only does a reduced weight stat translate to less of a burden in your inventory, but it also means the Warhammer swings 30% faster, easily making it the fastest swinging two-handed weapon in the game, and allowing it to do not more damage per hit, but per second than pretty much any other item in its class. Furthermore, the object's very existence itself seems to be a bit of an Easter egg by Bethesda, a nod to Rod Longham, a character featured in Session 5 of a Penny Arcade PvP Dungeons & Dragons game played at PAX 2010 that featured Will Weaver. The Longhammer is, of course, the Warhammer's victim, and Rod was the man who wielded it in life, or I guess in the Dungeons & Dragons game. So this powerful blunt object in Skyrim has a special story to match their special stats. Next on our list, we have the Dragon Priest staff. Now this magical stick of doom is interesting for a few reasons. Not only does it boast a custom model and texture, plus hold its own in terms of stats when compared to other staves, but players aren't really supposed to be able to use it, and the way one goes about obtaining such an object is quite extraordinary. Let me explain. During the climax of Skyrim's main quest line, the captured dragon Odin will inform the player that Alduin is currently pillaging around in Sovngarde, and to get to there, you must journey to his fortress in the mountains of Skollivin, where his portals to the realm can be located. At Skollivin, towards the top of the ruin, just as we're about to enter Alduin's gateway to Sovngarde, we'll run into Nakvin, one of Alduin's dragon priests, who, upon detecting us, will remove a staff from a switch, closing the portal, and then using it against us. This is the staff we're after.
Have you used something? You're not considered to make shots. They were more than costly mistakes. The one-bad swing can change everything. That's why players have a plan. Stay in position and control risk. USGA seems to say, take the merch store at the US Open. Banks are constantly tracking, scanning, and buying. Every register and device is a point that has to perform and stay secure. And that's where Cisco Secure Networking comes in. The security is built into the network itself, monitoring, verifying, and protecting every connection. For fans, it's simple. Count, scan, and done. But behind the scenes, the network,
As we need to place it back in order to continue the quest. Alas, looks can be deceiving. If the Dovizan manages to kill Nakvin immediately after he removes the staff, loot his corpse, take it from him, and quickly jump into the portal, all in rapid succession, it's seriously a window of just a couple of seconds, you'll be able to make it into Sovngarde with the Dragon-Free staff in your inventory, and she'll be all yours. It is a very difficult process, but once you finally get it, it'll be extremely rewarding. In terms of actual practicality, the blue wand isn't half bad. When sprayed on the ground, it creates a wall of lightning that inflicts 50 points of shock damage per second upon characters, and lasts for 30 seconds, which can prove useful, especially if you aren't very acquainted in magic. But admittedly, if you're already this far in the main quest line, chances are you've already acquired some other weapons or spells that are just as, if not more efficient. So the real draw of owning this weapon isn't its effectiveness, but rather as a collectible and a testament to your determination. Regardless, we can always still use it to teach a certain arrogant Redguard a bit of a lesson. Coming in at number 3, we journey to the happy little woodland oasis of below Advanced Grotto, an interesting combination of dungeon and forest in Whiterun, populated mostly by furry little critters. The location is rather small, but contains what appears to be the ruins of a once minor fort. And here, lying before Shrine to Talos, will be a note titled Molar's Rift. It reads as follows, quote, "To he who finds this, know that I, Asilius Bofar, last of the Blades to survive the attack on Cloud Ruler Temple, took refuge here, in this ancient sanctuary. The Thalmor have come for me, but they shall not desecrate this place. I go forth to meet my death with honor. If you are worthy, take up my blade, and do the same." The sword he's talking about will be lying just next to the rift in front of the statue, Bolar's Oak Blade. Its appearance is identical to that of the blade's source we see so many of in Skyrim's main questline, which makes pretty good sense, considering its wielder, Asilius Bolar, appears to have been a blade himself, who made his last stand here against the Thalmor, as the Dominion purged the organization some 25 years ago, during and in the aftermath of its great war with the Empire. It's not just looks, though. The base stats are also the same as those found on a normal blade sword, though its value is much higher, selling for 1,014 seconds compared to the generic brand's 300. Additionally, where the item really stands out are its two enchantments. On top of the base damage to health it deals, Bolar's Oak Blade also dishes out 25 points of additional stamina damage to foes per swing, plus causes opponents up to level 12 to flee from combat for 30 seconds. Altogether, factoring in just how easy this weapon is to acquire, combined with that Hysteria enchantment, makes it an ideal choice for players fresh out of Helgen. It'll be incredibly effective against low-level enemies, and you don't have to do much of anything but walk down a road near Whiterun to get it. Now, I did specify that in this video, I'm doing my best to stay away from unique weapons that are fed to us via quests. And Blood Advanced Grotto is the setting for the climax of Percy's sacred quest, Ill Met by Moonlight. But while that quest is active, Bolar's Oak Blade and his note will actually despawn and not appear. So the only way to get this is to come to the location on your own personal intuition. And that just makes having this in your inventory feel all that more satisfying. Getting close to the end here at number 4, we have a blunt force object that's not necessarily hidden. In fact, it's among Skyrim's most famous items. But the fact that we can obtain, I use that word loosely, we'll see why in a second, it and how we do so are known to very few players. I, of course, am speaking of the Giants Club, the force behind Skyrim's space program. Found in the oversized hands of pretty much every giant, chances are you've come across this great smash and stick quite a few times. Alas, the game never gives us the opportunity to interact with these clubs once we kill the bearers. We can't loot them off with corpses, or even have our followers engage with them.
Hello? Take a photo. This summer, we level up with good microbeats from summer salad to using from beauty to burger hot off the grill. We take every meal to the next level. Fresh, nutritious, and delicious. We level up this summer with good fun.
Well, there is a single lone Giants club in the game that defies this principle, and it can be interacted with. Kind of. At Tumble Large Pass, a giant encampment on the western edge of the Pale, an all-by-itself Giants Club lies sitting just before a ledge overlooking the camp. And when approached, you'll instantly notice that this one can be interacted with. You'll be able to move it around and be given the prompt to pick it up. But when you try to, the game simply won't allow it. Despite us being given the option to, Skyrim won't let us actually pick up the Giants Club. That said, followers can be directed to do just that, and they'll add it to their inventories just fine, without a fuss. Assuming they have a decent two-handed skill, they should equip it immediately after picking it up. Though if they don't, I'd recommend simply going into their inventories and removing every other potential weapon. Unfortunately, when we do look at what they're carrying, the Giants Club won't be listed, and there's fundamentally no way for us, the player, to use it for ourselves. But that doesn't mean it's not very helpful, or just hilarious to watch your followers run around with. It relies on the Greatsword animation package, so your followers will look quite out of place wielding it around. But my gosh, is the damage not absolutely incredible. It's calculated in a really funny way that's somewhat hard to understand and even more difficult to explain, but when wielded by a follower with a high level and two-handed, it will be the best weapon in the game. Period. Oddly enough, and this is why I say the calculations are funny, when given to a follower with a low two-handed skill, it doesn't perform all that great. For whatever reason, its effects just seem to be exaggerated exponentially beyond any other item when given to people with that good two-handed skill. Unfortunately, your followers won't be smashing people into the sky like the giants who wield this item do. That's sadly just not a power people seem to have. But nonetheless, this is an insanely good weapon to give to specific followers, and I highly recommend you try it out. And finally, our last item on this list can be found at Hag's End, an ancient Nordic ruin currently occupied by some Forsworn soldiers and their hag-ridden allies. After you've fought your way through this truly massive dungeon, you'll find yourself on the edge of the structure, with a beautiful view of the surrounding area. And here will also be an altar, with a sacrifice woman on top of it, and next to her body will be a unique steel dagger, Bloodthorn. At first, much like Holar's Oathblade, there doesn't seem to be very much distinguishing Bloodthorn from its base weapon. Its stats are pretty much the same, minus its value. Bloodthorn is 10 times more valuable than a normal steel dagger, but as was the case with Holar's Blade, its real distinguishing factors come in with the enchantments. Foes killed, or within 3 seconds of being hit by Bloodthorn, will immediately kill a soldier. That's the first major enchantment, which can prove pretty useful for mages. But it also comes with a second, unlisted magical effect that the game doesn't tell us about. It also drains your opponent's health by 10 points per swing, making every strike with this dagger deal a total of 15 points worth of damage rather than just 5. For context, the dagger with the highest base damage in the entire game is the Dragon Dog dagger, and it only boasts 12 points. So, while Bloodthorn may not look all that powerful, as we've already established, looks can be very deceiving. And with that, we are going to wrap up. 5 more secret and unique weapons you may have missed in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Which of these tools of chaos did you find to be the coolest or most interesting? Personally, the long hammer was my favorite, just because of how surprisingly effective it turned out to be. And what special and hidden-ish objects have I yet to cover, but definitely should? Leave a comment down below. As always, like rates are very much appreciated. Again, thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Peace out, everyone.
Come on, guys, really, come on now. Oh my. Fuck's sakes, really? After we choked our way out of playoffs, we were so fucking close. Well, blame Nammer's gonna get fired then. He's not my coach anymore. He is going to get fired after this season. I don't think the AHL guys made it too. Yeah, no. Both coaches, the AHL, both head coaches are going to get fired. Oh my god, yeah, we choked that shit so hard. We choked it. Oh, of course, now he's hurt. Great. Wow, Shane Wright lost his value hard. Oh, his point total dropped. Yeah, he's gone too. I'm trading him away as well. Florida wins the cup again. Go fuck yourselves. Oh, good. Serious damage coach. He may be actually a good one. Hopefully. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be cleaning house. Fuck, I'm down to buy him out. He does this. Really? Wow. There we go. Fuck. Fuck me for the overall sniper. Shit. Okay, I'll take that. I'll find you. Here's a gem right here. A gem goldie. Christ, a more powerful now. Wow, this draft is stacked. Damn. Oh shit, I want that goalie actually. I kinda want that goalie. I mean, I end up drafting him in the second round. Of course, Buffalo has nobody. No spots available. Yep, they got plenty of base. Yeah, I'm cleaning house. Good enough. Yep, you need relief. Good. But him, he's going to need a contract as well. Thought Stimton did Brew. He grew like a weeb. Yep, he wins the Calder, not a surprise there. Yeah, from Sunday's ELC. Let's just buy out 10 years. That's actually decent. Yeah, I just bought him out. Yeah, he's done. Almost a team where I'm going on a fucking rage. I'm cleaning house. We're selling his stay for an extra year. That's fine. Hey. Six by six. You know, we're no moving and no moving trade draws, small grade. Nice, good. Aid is actually quite light here, so I'll take it. He's a strong DFD. Kenny Weston get his DLC signed up. All employees need contracts. Let's see how much UPL. 5 years, I put 5. Shit, that's actually no much for a goalie. Oh wow, look at that. All right. No, 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 no. You got me. Who has horses' rights? Detroit, okay? Brendan Brucey wants 14 mil bucks. No, that's an overpay for a fucking goalie. Even in this league. Okay, let's go to Detroit here and see if they actually want to trade him. Oh, he won't cost much. Yeah, I definitely don't need a fucking goalie. Okay. Who can I give you? Yeah, not any of my top guys, but that. Already posted 2 on that. Yeah. Give you guys sale. Yep, that works. Edward Smith, sale. What are we going to Detroit? see, let's see how our also plays now. It was 10.2. Let's face off 80 at face offs. Spent the last 4 seasons in Vancouver, he got 53 points. I'm kind of happy to get him. He goes a no move trade, no move cross, okay. Combining. AHL, let's see my AHL lineups. Just for definitely playing next year for sure. I'm trying it now, and Radar as well. So, my goaltender tandem is fine in AHL. Probably just definitely sign forwards for down there. Shit, that's not one extension. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, okay, that was what you fucking want then. Shit, you want 9 mil. What do I want to do? 6 years at ooh, he wants 12. Oh, that's unfortunate. Now my right side is starting to get weaker. Well, centers can't play wing, so... Salt's played really well. 42 points in his first season. He is going to get better. Son's not one extension is not a surprise. Yeah, dude. I thought this guy coming up, so I guess that's fine. This my right side isn't doing too bad. I hope next time we decide to resign here. At least Coronado is still locked up for now, for next preseason, so that's fine. Who the fuck's this kid? Yeah. Two top stores are Jonathan and Matt, and then you settled in with Robert Prey for line. My left side, ooh. Yeah, my left side is a little weak. My center core is fine. Yeah, defense is fine as well. Jeez, 3 wants a contract. That's nuts price.